they said, why did you tell a Border Patrol man that you're here to see some friends? I said, because I am. They're my friends. I said, they're my fellow man. And they asked me, because his dad got in trouble, that he needs my assistance. And I'm up here to give him aid and assistance. And he said, but why didn't you say that you do the law? I said, you didn't ask. I said, honestly, it's none of your business. I said, I have the right to contract with my fellow man, and no government can interfere with that right to contract with my fellow man anywhere on planet Earth. So then they said to me, well, according to the Canadian Immigration Act, I said, what act? What are you talking about? Do you believe I'm a character in some sort of an act? I said, do you believe that, I'm an actor in your act? Do you think I'm a Canadian citizen? They said, well, you're a visitor. I said, I'm not a visitor. I said, I'm a man. Do I look like a visitor? No. But do I look like a man? You betcha. Believe me, I'm a man. I'm not a visitor. Well, in the Immigration Act, you're a visitor. I said, sir, can I explain this to you? I guarantee you when you see the word visitor in the Immigration Act, you're not going to see a picture next to it that looks like me. I said, I'm not a visitor, and I can't accept that title at this time. I got too many titles already. I'm a dad. I'm a father. I'm a son. I'm a cousin. I got too many. I'm encumbered by too many titles. I do not wish the title of visitor. So please stop calling me visitor. And I said, and I'm certainly not a guest. I said, I'm just a man, and I'm going from point A to point B to aid and comfort my fellow man. That's all I'm doing. He says, well, according to the Immigration Act, I said, the only problem is Canada signed the UN Charter of Human Rights back in 1946, and I think it's under Chapter 14 that a human being cannot be encumbered by borders. So, and since you are a subscriber, one of the charter members of the UN, is there some reason why you're not in full compliance with your treaty? Because I'm a man, I'm a human being, made of humus, made of the earth. I said, and you're interfering and you're placing a border in front of me. You can't interfere with my ability or my capacity to move across planet Earth. And is that what you wish to do? They said, well, according to the Immigration Act of Canada, I said, let me explain this again one more time to you. Do I look like an immigrant? Why? Okay, let me put it this way. Do I look like a migratory animal? Does it look like I'm migrating? Do I look like a water buffalo? Do I look like a bison? Do I look like a whooping crane? Do I look like an Arapaho, a Navajo, a Cheyenne, a Sioux Indian? Do I look like I'm migrating to you? I said, how do you believe I'm a migratory species, a migratory animal? What makes you believe that I'm migrating? He said, well, the Immigration Act, yeah, within a migration. No, I'm not moving within a migration. No, I'm sorry, sir, I'm not an immigrant. I said, I am a man who's here to aid and comfort my fellow man in his time of need. I said, and you're interfering with my capacity to do such an act. He said, well, under the Immigration Act of Canada. I said, sir, do you have a copy of the Immigration Act of Canada? He says, well, no. And I said, oh, and you're just doing this all from the top of your head? I said, how old are you? Like 30, 35 years old? And you're that proficient in the Immigration Act that everything you're doing right now is in full compliance with the Immigration Act of Canada. Is that what you believe? He says, and then he opens up this ridiculous Canadian pocket code book, which is like 5 inches thick, and it says pocket version. And I just laugh. I said, sir, are you going to try to come at me with a code, something that maybe be codified of the codification of the Immigration Act? Is there some reason why, if you're immigration, and this is the immigration division, of this airport, is there some reason why you don't have an Immigration Act on hand, on file, and ready to throw down on the desk and say, see, right here, in this section of the Immigration Act, this is where you're defined? Is there some reason why you don't have an Immigration Act right here? Uh-oh. I see a calf down on the road. I don't know if he's freezing his ass off. Let's go back up. I don't know if he got hit by a car, he's frozen. I don't know. Hang on a second. Let me go check my phone back. Hang on. Got to get out of my truck.
All right.
If he is, I'm going to have to go. You okay, little guy?
No.
Are you okay? Well, I don't think I could pick him up. I don't know if I got room in my truck to put him in the truck.
Is he okay?
I'm going to go find my buddy who's got a tractor who can pick him up and bring him home.
A tractor? How big a cat is it?
Yeah, well, he's a little guy. where was I? What was I just saying? Oh, I was going around with immigration. And
Carl, was it a cat or a calf?
what was I saying? Going around with immigration. And, oh yeah, it was just a lot of fun. So like he said, I guess he got tired of trying to figure out what in the world I was doing, going on about. So he just said, well, you weren't up, tell us, he says, you're here for business, not for pleasure. I said, no, I move across planet Earth at my leisure, at my pleasure. I'm not a business, I'm not incorporated, I have no charter, I have no license, I have no permits. He said, but you're here to give the man legal advice. I said, no, I am totally clueless in legal. I have no idea what the word legal even means. I said, I'm not have anything to do with legal. And I said, don't even go there with me. So I said, look, the people that I'm coming to see are outside the lobby waiting for me. Why don't you just go ask them what I'm doing here, up here in Canada? So thank God the people who were in the lobby told the guy exactly what I said. It's funny if I knew, I guess I had a call on me. Let me see if this guy can get on my phone. That's a good question. Let me try to add a call. See what happens. Give me Angela.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Calling the Maple Syrup guy.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just talking to that Angela lady on that Talkshoe thing, and I was saying to her how you were asked by Border Patrolman if I was there to help you guys. You know what I'm saying? Or what did you guys actually were, your dad or whoever answered, and you guys were just straight up and said exactly what exactly what I was doing out there, saying something about, tell Angela a little bit about what happened like that.
Yeah, the first time they came out, they came looking for me, and they said that we're holding Karl here, and we wanted to know why were you bringing him down? And we basically said, I said my dad has a case that he's dealing with, and Karl came down to come and help with the case. And we also own a maple syrup business. He's also coming down to visit for that reason, and that was it.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. There's our stories matched. You know what I'm saying? That nobody was like bullshitting, nobody was lying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then what happened?
The second time, then he left because I kept asking him questions. I said, well, is there any way we can find out any information? He said, no, I can't tell you nothing. I was like, okay, whatever. Then we sat in the airport for another 2 hours, and then another Border Patrol guy came out with another guy, and he asked for my story. And then we told the story again to him because he just wanted to collaborate his own thing. And he said, we're not the ones making the decision on this. We just want to know what your stories are. I'm like, okay. So we kind of just repeated the same thing over and over again. And they just asked for our information, what we're going to be doing. Where's Karl going to be staying? And I said, oh, well, he's not going to be staying at this place specifically. He's like, it's a small town. He's just going to stay at a motel just down from us. They just got into the details of all that, right?
Oh, yeah, what's funny, hey, Angela.
Yes.
Who does this guy sound exactly like? Doesn't he sound exactly like Dean Clifford?
No,
talk a little bit
me.
more, Chris. Go ahead, talk a little bit more. Say, talk like Dean Clifford. Say Karl is always right, and I'm Dean Clifford, and I wish I listened to him.
Trust me, after I recorded our call earlier today, I was listening to it, and I was transcribing our calls, and as I was listening to my own voice, I was like, oh my God, Karl's right, I sound like Dean Clifford. I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that's what I said. Oh, yeah, when he first called me up, I thought it was Dean calling me up. I haven't talked to him a long time, so it's like, holy shit, Dean must be out.
Okay, so wait a minute. Now, what happened now? So what did they do? They took you to the clink and they made you sit there and they said they're going to ship you out in the morning? Well, like
what happened? I said, honestly, I said, what am I charged with? I said, what's the charges? I said, I'll accept all the charges. I said, who's charging me? What have I been charged with? He says, you're not charged with anything. I said, okay, so I'm not charged with anything, so I wish to leave. I wish to be set free. He says, that's not going to happen. I said, oh, really? I said, so you wish for me to stay? Yes. So you wish for me to have a rest? Yes. It's like, I don't wish to rest. They said, well, you're going to rest. I said, oh, okay. I guess due to the fact that you got a gun, and if I say no, you're going to take out that gun and point it at my head, and you're going to say, now rest. Guess what? I guess I'm going to rest against my will. I said, but if it's your wish, if it's your order, I will carry out all your wishes. I will carry out all your orders. I said, I will serve you like you've never been served. So it's so funny. I explained to them. I said, you do know when I am ordered, I am a man, and I'm going to require fair and just compensation. You do know this, right? So they were like, what are you going on about? And I told them, I said, you get ordered to, do your job, you're going to get fair and just compensation. I'm going to be ordered. You want to issue me orders? I'm going to require fair and just compensation. I said, so what's going to happen is when you order me, I said, I'm going to tender a bill. I said, and they're like, okay, like how much is it going to cost? I said, I'm not sure yet. It depends on the orders. So what was so funny is they brought me to, I guess that's the Regina jail. I guess that's the name of the city. Is Regina is the city jail? I guess
Regina.
Regina. Okay, yeah. Tomato. Yeah. So they brought me to jail, and I stayed there until like 2:00 in the afternoon. And it was so funny. They took my cell phone away because I was trying to record. I was saying to myself, how could I record these orders? How could I record these orders? So it was so funny. My battery was dead. It was so funny. I think they did that on purpose. Put my cell phone on just to kill the battery so that I couldn't record anything. So when they gave it back, I plugged it into my computer real quick and fired that cell phone up. So when we walked into the airport, oh, that's right. It was funny when we actually walked back into the airport. We went to the ticket counter at Delta, and they told the ticket counter that like this man flew me on a one-way ticket into Canada. I had no return ticket home. So I said, yeah, it was funny. So because I figured I was going to go from there over to Barry County, which is north of Hamilton, to help some man, James Daly, with some issues with his zoo and some birds. I was going to show him how to file a claim into the court and evoke his court into that public courthouse. So the ticket was supposed to be open-ended like that, like my travel arrangements were open-ended. I had no idea where I was really going to go next. So kind of whenever I enter a foreign country, I kind of figure I'm going to be, booted right the hell out. So I wasn't surprised. I was like, this is part of the course. I kind of figured this was going to happen. No big deal, especially after the first time I was in Canada and they put me on trial. So, I've been up there 4 times now this year. It's about time. They finally said that's enough of this guy. He's winning.
They paid for your ticket?
Oh, it was funny is they only wanted to pay for me to go back from Canada to Minneapolis. Oh, it's so funny at the ticket counter. They said, no, that's just, he just needs a ticket to Minneapolis. So this was great because now we were in front of plenty of witnesses in the airport. Now I could give this guy a freaking attitude because now go ahead and pull your gun. Now go ahead and throw handcuffs on me. Now go ahead and throw me in a cage. Now do this in front of 1,000 people watching what the hell's going on. I said, oh, no. You got to send me back to the point of origin. The point of origin is not Minneapolis. The point of origin is Roanoke, Virginia. I said to the booking agents, I said, put my name in that computer, Karl Lentz, and show this man my point of origin. He says, the point of origin is Roanoke, Virginia. I said, there you go. I am not leaving this counter until I got an itinerary to go back to Roanoke. And he says, the border guy said, you could worry about that when you get to Minneapolis. I said, are you out of your mind? I'm worrying about it now while I'm here. I'm not going to go to Minneapolis in the middle of a snowstorm, like the busiest day of the year, and I'm going to try to get back to Roanoke, and it'll probably be $2,000-$3,000 to get a flight. I said, you are out of your mind. I said, I'm getting booked now before I move 1 inch from this counter. So the Delta airline people, they said, oh, here you go. So Canada actually had to pay for my whole flight home, and it probably cost them $2 or $3 grand. Too bad.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I got before I was walking onto the airplane. You walk through that, not the tarmac, but this tube that leads you onto this plane.
Yeah.
You don't actually walk on a runway anymore. Most times you just walk through this tube.
Yeah.
Through the terminal. So it was funny. I put my cell phone on real quick, and I put it in my pocket, and I'll put this up on YouTube or my website. I actually said to the guy, and I got both of them on video, but the guy the man who did all this nonsense was Jimmy Snively or Snively. It's like Snively, Snively. And I got pictures of him, because what was funny is I put my camera on and I played the video, recorded it, and I said to him, so now, I turned around and I said, goodbye. I said, oh, you folks going to escort me all the way onto the plane? He said, no, this is as far as we go. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, it's been a real pleasure, sir, And I said, have a nice, stay safe out there, sir. And I said to them, I said, oh, by the way, have I carried out all your orders? Have I not served you properly? And they said, yes, you served us well. Thank you. And then he looked in my pocket and, I was camcording, and I was like, got you. And I just jumped on a effing plane. But what's his name? But Chris heard a little bit of that video before. Remember, Chris?
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, yeah. But see, that's what I'm saying. I want Angela here that, that I'm going to put this video up there. This is what you're supposed to do. Especially if you could catch him on camera saying that, yes, you've carried out our orders, and yes, you served us well. Oh, my God. Yeah. I could get conversations like saying, they ordered 3,812 pizzas, and not only did I carry out their order, I actually served them the effing pizza. So you better believe they got to compensate me. So
are you going to pursue that now, or what?
Oh, yeah. So what I got to do is I got to find out whoever is in charge of the government of Canada, which is like Harper or Blair or Ford, whoever it is up there, whatever's going on. And I got to send them a bill. Yeah, I got to send them a bill. I say,
let me ask you something. Are you going to be able to go to Canada now, again?
Just wait. Okay. So you guys are all like antsy and like, let's start crying. I don't know what to do.
Well, you're talking about
I know exactly what to do. You guys ain't got a clue. That's why I do what I do, and I love this kind of nonsense when they pull this nonsense.
I'm trying to get it out of you, so.
That's right, but it's only 20 minutes I've been doing this show. You got another 40 minutes to kill, and I don't want to answer any effing questions. So I'll just tell you the story, and I got things to do. Nobody answered. My neighbor didn't answer the door, so I got to actually pick up that freaking calf and carry him all the way back. So I ain't got really time to do no more questions. But I'll finish up the story, and then I got to go pick up that calf. But the thing is, when I went to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tender a bill. And I'm going to say, okay, for lost time, loss, harm, injury, all kinds of nonsense I want to make a claim for. But it's going to be short. It's going to be a short bill. But and as I say, if you require a bill of particulars, see Exhibit A. I'll attach in the bill of particulars upon demand. Upon a request, I'll attach a bill of particulars. But this is the bill. I'm going to give a nice little simple bill. I carried out all these orders. I did this. I took a rest against my will. Blah blah blah. And I'm going to put all the stuff down there. And I'm going to say, to make a claim that this border agent, Jimmy Snively, whatever his name is, was acting, in like disregard, and it was derelict in duty, in which Canada, has a treaty with, that clearly states that borders cannot interfere with a human being's right to like circumnavigate the planet Earth or something like that. I'll get the exact quote from the UN Charter. I'll get it. And it's like, I'm going to require to be compensated for the orders that I carried out, and for the services, for the orders that I performed and the services I carried out. And I'm going to require, and I'm going to put a whopper of a ridiculous effing number down, like $100 million for Canada being in violation of the UN Human Rights Charter, of 1946, but I will negate the $100 million for compensation if, from now on, the government of Canada trains, disciplines, and monitors their Border Patrol agents in the proper manner, and that when a human being, approaches these agents, when a man declares that he is a man to these border agents, and the man or the human being declares that he wishes to go aid and comfort his fellow man, that they are not to encumber his capacity to move about the planet, as so stipulates in whatever Section 14 of the UN Code of 1946. But if a person, a visitor, a guest, a U.S. citizen attempts to enter Canada, Canada could do whatever they will with a U.S. citizen, a visitor, a guest, but it cannot interfere with the movements of a human being, a man. But citizens, yes. Guests, yes. Visitors, they could squash. You could do whatever you want to a visitor. You could do whatever you want to an immigrant. You could do whatever you want to a guest, but you can't encumber man's capacity to move about the planet. You can't do it. You signed a charter and you said you will not do it. You have got to teach your border agents to uphold your treaties you made with the rest of the world and not negate the monetary compensation. There you go. They'll pay me $100 million and then keep acting like assholes because you guys are worth trillions anyway, so what the hell? So we'll see what happens. It should be fun. Like I said, I don't know if it's how I'm gonna get this calf. I can't even imagine where the mom's at this time of night. But I don't know if I got to take it into my house. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do.
Is he laying on the road or standing up or what?
Yeah, he's curled up in a ball, or she's curled up in a ball.
Oh.
And I can tell she's only like a week or two old. So I'm trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to do this.
Oh, where's the mom?
Probably, the mom probably gave up, and I don't see where the hurt is. So that's what's, it's, I'm only guessing where they could possibly be, the mom could be, because usually they moo like crazy when they can't find their calves. Maybe that's what the mom was doing yesterday. I heard this crazy mooing, like 11, 12 o'clock at night, and might have been looking for the calf. And the calf finally made it back down the road a little bit. So I got to run down to the calf. But is there anything, Chris, that you wanted to say,
Not really, no. I've just kind of been absorbing so much information lately that it's kind of mind-boggling sometimes.
Yeah, it's just a normal day for me.
Yeah, and that UN thing that you were talking about, it's the International Declaration of Human Rights. I believe it was signed in 1949.
Oh, okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, I couldn't remember exactly when. But like I said, it's something like that. And what section is it, did you know?
I don't know which section it was exactly.
Oh, it's right in the beginning. I know that. It's not far. It's not really.
Every man is free and equal in rights and this and that. It states somewhere in there, I think, about travel, but.
Oh yeah, it's right in the front. And isn't there two UN charters? One for like 1946, when they actually started the UN. I think it's in the original charter.
It was ratified by these countries in 1949.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's some sort of human rights treaty, and then there's the actual charter of the UN.
Yeah, there could be
like the Constitution. Yeah. No, I don't know if it's the Declaration of Human Rights. I actually believe it's the charter of the UN. Like, why the charter? Why, like the United States Constitution? Why we decided to create this form of government? The same thing with the UN. Why we decided to come together as a nation of an association or group of nations, and what is our mission statement? And that's one of the very first mission statements, like in the UN Charter, like 1946. And it could be in the Human Rights Charter of 1949. It's one of them. I mean, I don't study that stuff like it's life or death to me. It's like, I perused it one time and said, if I ever need to know it one day, hopefully I could use it. What's the matter, sweetie? Oh, yeah, she looks shot. No, like I said, there's a little baby calf. It's funny. I'm going to take a picture of it. I'll put it on the website so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
Can you pick her up?
I don't know. She probably is a good at least 100 pounds, man. But I'll see. Well, I'm sure I'll load her up in the back of my truck, but I probably got to go home first.
Is it snowing there?
Yeah, but like I said, it's not bitter cold, but I guarantee she is not enjoying life right now. Well, I guarantee it's miserable because it probably hasn't been eaten in quite a while. But yeah, that's always a shame when I can't find the mom or whatever.
Who has cattle running around out there?
The neighbors, everybody has cattle running around down here.
Oh, okay. Oh, gosh.
So,
I feel
I'm going to hang up for a couple of minutes. Yeah, I'm going to hang up for a couple of minutes so I can use both hands.
All right. Call me back.
I'll call you Angela, but if you want me to call you back, I'll call you back.
Okay.
Kind of weird stuff you like. Okay, but I'm game.
All right. Take care of that, Catherine. We'll talk to you in a few minutes.
All right. Okay.
Wow, well, that was interesting. Huh?
Yeah, like I said, talk to other people. I'll be back in a little bit.
All right. Okay. I was talking to Paula Gloria here before. Let's see if we can find her. She's still on.
Your original guest, and
Paula?
a question of mine relative to the public access, and to ask whether you folks know, are microtransmitters still in the game, in the marketplace, allowable? Are they under the radar, or are they just in the same bag with everything else?
You're fading out. Paula, did you hear him?
Yeah, I think that's a great comment, and I think it's good for people to put their attention on that. Karl was the first one that sort of revived an interest I've had in this, because I was a cellular telephone speculator in the 80s. So if I could organize myself with all of the uproar, I had footage of the streets of Manhattan just being torn up and all of the copper wire being taken out. I mean, it's sickening. Karl was talking about the positive side, that there's a lot of this scrap stuff, but, you know, the negative side is we don't get good telephone calls anymore. I've even talked to telephone people on the street about it, you know, the repairmen. They said, yep, we were all deceived. We were told we were going to get better service, and now you get these little squeaky cell phones. When Lydia Radin was organizing the producers' meeting, they didn't even let us use the phone on the table. You know, you would think, remember the landline phones?
Yeah, I have one.
I know that they're so precious. Because they want to sabotage meetings, but she had her little squeaky cell phone up. Now, for those of us in the room, the speaker on a little squeaky cell phone is terrible. You can't hardly hear. So she would relay what the person was saying. It was a good microphone because my friend in Pennsylvania who was following the meeting, she could hear it really well. So it's good for the message going out. But if you want to have a nice meeting for producers, it most certainly doesn't look like Manhattan Neighborhood Network is anything about supporting the producers' right to public access, which is what they're getting $14 million a year to do.
Wow. Well, looks like we lost Oregon. Okay, well.
Hello?
Hello. Hi, Akila.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm in New York with my dad. He just turned 88. And
happy birthday.
11. I'll tell him.
We lost Karl for a little while. He had to go help take care of that.
Yeah, I was listening for a while. I just wanted to say hello, and I'll be listening on the call to everybody, and hope everybody get their information and questions answered.
I hope so, too. I was wondering why I haven't been able to get a hold of Karl, and I guess that's why. You know, when he goes up into Canada, it doesn't work that well, or it shows roaming, and so he doesn't answer the phone when it's for me anyway. But I hope he takes care of that little calf. I feel so bad for it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever see the show called Calling Dr. Pole?
Yes, I actually have.
I love that show.
The things he do. He deliver babies, animals.
Oh yeah.
Well, sometimes.
He's an amazing guy, and he's there in Michigan. You know, he's a vet. He goes out
it's in
to farms.
Michigan when they do that show. Oh.
Say what?
I didn't know it was in Michigan they do that show.
That's where he's at, in Michigan.
Okay.
I forget the name of the town he's in, but I don't know, it's like therapy watching that show when he takes care of those animals. It's just, that's what I thought of right away when Karl said there was a calf in the street. At first I thought he said a cat, a baby cat.
Oh, okay.
But, people on the chat here straighten me out real quick. Calf.
Well, I'm going to say hello to Karl. Hope he hear it.
I don't think so. He's off completely, so I don't...
Oh, okay. So, well, he'll be back soon enough, God's will, and I'll talk to him then.
I hope he takes good care of that calf, though, and saves its little life.
Yeah. But we all like too, you know.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. You know, I didn't even know he had been detained or arrested in Canada. I didn't even know he was going back up to Canada again.
I knew he was going back. I think he announced that on his show, and he was saying he's going to be up there a little while, maybe 4 days or so. And
yeah, I missed it. I missed his call Saturday.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because I was going to meet with him as well, but I told him I was coming up here to New York to meet with my dad, and when he get back, God's will, we can meet up then.
That's where Paula Gloria is, up there in New York.
What part?
Manhattan.
There you go, Manhattan.
Oh, I'm in
Angela.
Brooklyn. What part of
very good.
What part of Manhattan are you?
Before I got evicted, Gramercy Park. We intend to get back there, but it's going to be quite a struggle.
I see.
I heard that. Did you listen to Public Access BCAT in Brooklyn on TV?
No, I did not.
Well, you missed something really, really nice. For years, it was probably the freest of all the boroughs, but recently it's now in the hands of the borough presidents. It seems as though that's what's been happening. But us three producers, me, Joe, and Lydia Radin, kind of jammed the works for the moment. And I'm not sure where the Comcast Time Warner merger stands. But you don't get television in Brooklyn? Cable?
Of course we do, but I just happen to not watch that show.
It's the public access channels.
Oh, I don't watch that pretty much. I don't watch a lot of TV at all. I'm more into learning law.
Yeah, so really.
I don't
You're
even.
You're more into what?
Learning law.
About the law. Because it's within
so
you.
The internet, right? Well,
no.
You know what's happening?
No. I learn law is like, if you just sit down sometime and think about it, you know, God is our creator, and we'll never get jurisdiction or be stronger than him. And we create the government, we men and women. So it never will be over us. And it's like you have to get that concept. You have to reckon with that concept. And I wanted to say this, I hope whoever's listening, like a lot of times when we be raised up, they tell us, when we kids, we be raised up and your parents tell you, act dignified, or they tell you, act honorable. And I tell them, nope, don't act dignified, don't act in honor. Be in honor at all times, and be dignified. It's something that has to be a part of you. Just like people say they have religion, that's a part of their life, they do it. But so do this, because a lot of these laws is in the Bible. It's that the U.S. government, they say they give you alienable rights or alien rights, whatever. I say this is your God-given rights. They can't give you anything. And that's why I know Karl talk about this sometime, and I really understand it. I don't deal with civil rights and all that crap because it's irrelevant. How could you give me anything that's already rightfully mine?
Right.
You can't give me a hand. I already have it. It's mine. You can't tell me, okay, I'm not going to charge you nothing. You could go ahead and breathe the air. It's already mine.
Yeah.
And it's like this, and that's what my concept. I know Angela helped me a lot with the immigration. You sent me a couple of things. But as you really think about, if you read the Bible, if God gave man dominion over this earth, this land, I have a right to be anywhere. If I want to be in Germany, Italy, I have a right to be there. As long as I'm not harming another man, injuring another man, they can't tell me I can't go there.
That was Carl's argument, wasn't it, for Canada?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Wow. And then the other part is, like, if you ever get, and that's why I have a case coming up soon with someone, so we'll see how it goes. I'll let everybody know how that goes. So anyways, he's with immigration, and they want to deport him. So I'm trying to let him know what the word property means and all this type of thing. And then if he versus USA, well, tell Miss US to stay here and tell me why they're going to try to tell me have to leave this. They don't have it's because another man or woman can only talk with another man or woman. That's just their entities. And the more understanding you understand and open up, all your problems, all your answers will be there. And then once we all come to this conclusion and understand this very well, if you think about the Queen, she has a lot of problems, Queen of England or any Queen or President. You are much stronger as a man or woman than them because they are acting in the part. You got to think all those titles: a judge, a police officer, a president, whatever. When they, that's what Carl speaks about this. You can't sue them, but it's like I can sue Barack Obama. I can sue the Elizabeth, the Queen, but I can't take off all those titles. We are on equal as man and woman, and you can sue another man and woman. And I got that concept. I've been sitting down and just thinking, and it's just like wow, it start coming to you, start understanding, and it's I pray a lot. And I'll just tell you this, only way you're really going to get this if God reveals it to you. And that's what happened to Carl. God really revealed to him what to do. And that's why you got to get in touch with your Creator. I feel everybody should. And you'll see, you'll think and feel a lot better. And when you get to articulate in the court or say anything, you got it. They can't tell you.
Good advice.
So anyway, let me chime out, and I want to let everybody know I pray for the whole world. I pray for everybody, and I love everybody. And I just wish the best for us all.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna mute myself.
We love you too.
All right, I love you too. Thank you.
Love is the answer.
Yep. God bless. All right.
All right.
Keep listening.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Oregon, let me unmute you. Try it again. You got disconnected there. What happened?
Hi, you can hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, driving through a rainstorm in the hills, and I just lost contact with the cell phone.
Yeah.
So did you hear my long-winded question or no?
I forgot it already.
Yeah, okay. Long-winded question, short
Oh,
memory.
yeah, wait a minute. You were talking to Paul and Gloria about, yeah, go ahead. Run it by again.
Microtransmitters. Are microtransmitters for low-budget kind of radio op guys still an option, a viable option? It's less likely to get shut down.
But how about TV?
I think you said TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't even think about TV. 20 years ago, I was editing a national magazine on all this sort of subjects, and we started looking into the microtransmitter thing and found that it was sort of under the radar as far as FCC was concerned. And I was just wondering if any of that changed, but I guess you probably wouldn't know because it's out of your universe since you're a TV kind of person. So sounds like my question was off point, but I just really want to appreciate both of you for what you're doing, and I would say don't give up. I would also say, though, please don't rely on everybody waking up because you'll wait a long time. And we don't need that anyway. Remember, 3% of the population is all that fought in the revolution.
Yeah. We don't need everybody, but we need critical mass.
We do. And
to get to that tipping point. So
Sam Adams said, setting brush fires in the minds of people,
Yes.
So just keep doing what you're doing, keep the faith, and I just say, and this is easy, this is just feels like rhetoric just coming out of me, but, we've got to outthink these guys, and I love what you're doing. I'm talking to Paula now, but really Angela also as the channel here, the via of the networking, what am I trying to say?
Are you following the Deutsches case, Oregon?
Negative.
I put the link on the chat. Maybe I can pull it up for you again. It's really worth looking into. It's fascinating. It seems as though Angela.
Cool, but
they may
Angela,
have come in because she was looking to Tim Turner. I thought that was interesting.
Tim Turner?
Yeah, remember? Yeah, right. Before they saw one or two lectures on their computer. Remember, Karl said that the website got pulled up. I found that very fascinating. I think that's good information for us to share.
Well, funny you mentioned that. Now, I've got to tell you a parallel of mine from about 96. Like I say, I was editing a magazine out of Culver City back then, and it was national, even had some international readers.
Culver City?
Culver City, California.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Oh, are you? Well, it's Perceptions magazine back in the day. It was wonderful. It's precursor to what we're doing here on this show. Anyway, I remember at the GMV, the motor vehicle department, I noticed as a printout came out, something about me, God knows what I was there for, but it comes up and it says my name, and then it says American Freeman. It says in the DMV record about me. So I don't know, I asked some bright question like, do you have this or that, some kind of code or something? The woman went in the back, and somehow I got a copy of that page. I found it just the other day. I made a copy and gave it back to her or whatever. I don't think I stole their paperwork. But I've got a copy that says my name, American Freeman, in the DMV record.
Wow.
Yeah, that's mine. So anyway, they're definitely tracking us. But yeah, I'm just saying, to keep the networking going. The more that we're aware, and I did about 100 radio shows as a guest back in that day, being interviewed all over the country, and I keep hearing people say, "Gosh, I'm so glad to hear you, because I thought I was the only one that knew what was going on."
Wow.
It was very heartwarming. So all I can say is keep doing what you're doing. Keep looking for points of light, contact points, people who get it, and obviously people who are in positions of not necessarily financial power, but they're opinion leaders of one sort or another. They, people who know people and who are listened to.
Say, Oregon, what do you think about calling on behalf of Rod Class? Do you think that will do anything or not?
Not really. I'm sorry to say that I really I was going here to my wife here as we're driving along, and to what Angela was saying. I love the man, especially because we're both from Ohio. Not especially, but we are. And the state that gave the United States more presidents than any other state. I love his heart, but I feel like she does. He sort of got stuck there, and I'm a big Lentz follower at the moment. I'm about to send off a big package of paperwork to him about a case that's been hanging on for years and years, and see if I can get his input.
Lynch?
But, yeah.
Who's Lynch?
Who's Rich?
Lynch? Did you say Lynch?
Lentz. I think you meant Karl Lentz.
Lentz.
Okay.
Yes. Dr. Lentz, yes.
Karl. Just say Karl.
What's kind of upsetting to Joe, my husband, about that is because by people writing in and calling, it really helped him on his behalf when he was in trouble.
I'm not saying don't do it. Yeah, I'm not saying don't do it. And I'm really not familiar. I didn't even know that there was a problem for Rod. Like Angela, I've talked to him also. I have his private number, and I called him a few times. Sometimes it's hard to get a hold of him because he's so busy. But, he's just, wow, he's a great guy. Like Howard Griswold, just one of the, died in the World Troopers, very bright. Mm-hmm. But it seems that some of these folks, self included, we all maybe find something that works for us and we believe in it, and we have some wins with it, which can even be more, likely to sort of stick us in one place, and maybe we don't move past that. And then when somebody comes in with a different viewpoint, we can resist because whatever, macho or ego or just good old, human cussedness, and this is the way, But I think, I'm saying this.
It used to matter. It used to help out when you had people calling or writing on someone's behalf. That's when things were more, legitimate or more
humane.
Today, cops kill people and get away with it. It doesn't matter anymore. Nothing. They don't count the votes. When we vote, it doesn't mean anything. They want you to think it does, but it doesn't. And when you call on behalf of somebody, They don't care.
But
They
maybe
don't.
but maybe it's an opportunity that we can all promote ourselves. For example, I noticed that on the voting day, Joe and Jay were getting unbelievable calls. Have you voted? Have you voted? Have you voted? And when I started to complain in Manhattan about they've got special buildings that have historical value. The name is slipping my mind. And they're not supposed to be damaged. And it looked like some contractors were going to take down one of these landmark buildings. So as soon as I called up 311, I said, what's the number where I can complain? Called up 311. What do? Is they tell you that you can fill out a form. I said, I don't want to fill out a form. I want to make a complaint. Oh, it's the number that you call instead of 911 when there's problems, when fire hydrants are leaking and things like that.
Oh, okay.
It's what the city's supposed to do to serve people for all of what they're ripping them off for, probably. But my point is, along with what comes in the mail, also comes a registration to vote. So it seems as though they're constantly wanting to register you, and that must be a type of a recontracting.
Selling your soul is what it is.
I would agree, definitely.
Well, yeah, so instead of saying we vote and stuff, when one of these guys called, I finally said, I wasn't even sure if this is how Joe believed. I said, we don't even think it's a good thing to vote. We think just the very process of being registered by the District of Columbia is already something working against us. So please leave us alone. But
it doesn't matter what you vote for. They do what they want to do. As long as you don't get to watch them count the votes, this is the point that's got to be understood.
But what I'm saying is, but why are we even expecting that of them? Why don't we just have our own votes? That's what.
Yeah, I think you're right on the money. I actually was involved with very much that kind of a grassroots movement. 2009, 2010. I happened to be in Utah. Both of us here in this car were in Utah at that time involved. And there was a nationwide assembly movement, local assemblies, saying exactly that. Well, I'll tell you what we found. And that is that we were not individually strong enough. We were not Karl. And as a result, we started getting into difficulty, our own difficulties, and we're not strong enough to handle them. And the assembly is not something that the city government is going to listen to either. We thought, oh, well, we're legitimate, we're real, de jure, and so they'll have to. Yeah, right. So until we become strong enough, each of us, knowing how to stand up, and it may not be the Karl way.
It's got to be your own way, whatever way it is, as long as you know who you are. That's the whole thing. I always say that. Yeah.
Bali sounds very different from Karl. And I'm sure that, 10 other Karl students who are successful with his material also sound different. First of all, none of us was raised in Brooklyn, and so we may not be as argumentative and all that sort of thing, but I still think we can carry it off. But it all has to do, like the lady who was just on with that wonderful British accent or equivalent, get in touch with our Creator if we're not already and see what truth is put upon our hearts and speak from that point. And besides, we don't necessarily always have to win. Sometimes we can learn a lot by not, and then the next time around we're stronger.
Well, that's what I mean about Rod. That's what I mean about Rod, Oregon.
Uh-huh.
I appreciate very much what Angela said, that he doesn't seem to be progressing. But then who knows what's in a soul's destiny and what someone's role is.
Right. I don't knock what he's doing. I mean, he's doing what he's got to do. He's his own man, and I appreciate that, and I respect him for that. It's just that I don't necessarily follow his tactics. I am a great believer in following success.
We never know what will come. Never know what will come out of his research.
But what is success?
Success is Karl Lentz is success. Adele Weiss is success. Glenn Ambort is success. I see it all the time with these people. So I try to follow their lead, but I do it in my own way. I always say you get the bits and pieces that are golden nuggets from these people and formulate your own methodology, you know, what feels comfortable, the way you apply it in your personal issues.
Right, yeah. Which is also constantly changing. I remember with Lindy Heiss, I wrote up to her judge, and we sent some information that we got from a guest of yours that had passed away. She was talking about using the prisoners to make money and how much money was coming. I can't remember her name now. She died, and she was a good guest of yours.
Oh, Joyce Rosenwald.
No, it wasn't. I don't think that was her. It was another sort of Jewish-sounding name. It was about the It was about the Chris report. It had another name, Berg or Karen or.
Oh,
anyway,
Karen Tappert.
No, I would remember it if you said it.
Karen Udis? I haven't had her on my.
No, not Karen Udis. She's not that useful. This lady had really done an analysis of $10,000 a day coming into the money markets because of tapping into these federal accounts when people
that must have been Joyce Rosenwald. She was into that more. But anyway.
Well, anyway, when I wrote to that judge, they really sent me stuff back with CUSIP numbers. So they really were concerned. Now I'm sure they've gone to seminars that said don't respond to everybody who listens to a few YouTube shows. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's gotten tougher.
Well, it's just like saying, you know, that's what they do. They ridicule you. They, you know, make you feel like, I mean, they make the masses feel like we are idiots, you know, and, oh, they're conspiracy theorists or whatever. And, you know, the masses believe that because they're brainwashed. We were once too, you know. It just takes a while, but
I struggle every day.
I see every day it's getting more and more obvious what's going on with the government, at least in my opinion. You know, you hear about every day a cop is killing somebody. It's like, what the hell is going on, you know, hello? Or you hear about, you know, the fear tactics. I mean, you hear a commercial on the radio about how you should call up this tax agency because they're going to help you because the IRS, you don't want to, they'll take your money, they'll take everything you own. I mean, the fear tactics, it's constant and it's every day and people hear that, they're bombarded with it. And so they're brainwashed into believing all that crap. And that's why I say we have to lead by example. You know, you have to set an example and let them see what.
That's what's so beautiful about the Deutsches. That's why I put that link in there.
I got them all, and I already have them on browsers ready to.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe we can do something with that in the future. That would be
sure.
nice.
I'll listen to their situation and see. But I can tell you right now, as long as he's got a license to practice medicine, they've got it over him.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose. He's not going to want to lose his license to practice medicine. So that's where they get you.
Yeah.
Angela?
Yeah. Yes?
I'm glad you mentioned about seeming or it is, you know, getting worse all the time, people are becoming aware of it. You're taking me back 20 years to, you may remember this name being in the LA area. You know Richard McDonald, who was one of the grandfathers of this movement, in my estimation. He's the guy that got me started. And we used to have every month, Richard McDonald?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I've spoken.
We used to have a meeting at the one of the hotels in the valley every month, and we'd have like 200 people, 250 people, something like that. First two little anecdotes from that. One is at the time
that the Granada Forum, right?
No, it was in the East Valley. It was on Vineland at a hotel. Dorothy Garland.
Dorothy Garland, sure.
Beverly Garland,
That's where a lot of things happen.
Yeah, that's correct. Right up until Oklahoma City. And immediately after Oklahoma City, our audience dropped from 250, 300 down to 30, like overnight. And it really looked like this was an anti-patriot kind of caper that they pulled there. I mean, you guys are already well aware that, you know, it was planned and all of that. It was, this is, you know, preaching to the choir, but how the FBI, you know, had all of its students stay home or its children stay home from the daycare center that day and all that stuff. Anyway.
Well, the FBI stayed home that day.
Yeah, probably they did too. Yeah. Anyway, so
they killed a lot of the children. That's the way they do things. You know, they sacrifice children. It's always children.
Well, without jumping around too much, I'll say a thing about Richard, which was he brought up right at the time that NAFTA and GATT went through. Everybody's moaning about that. He said, "No, this is great. This is great. The more that they put the screws to us and to other people, you know, the more upset people are going to get, the more they're going to start to get it." Well, it's 20 years later, and still a lot of people aren't getting it. But the other thing is, now you reminded me about Oklahoma City.
A lot of people are getting it. They're just quiet about it.
Well, true. And it's showing up. Fortunately, of course, now we have the Internet much more than we did then, and, you know, YouTube and et cetera. Much easier to get out there and say a whole lot with pictures also. And somewhere along the line, I'm probably going to lose you in the next 5 minutes or so because I'm moving into poor reception area again, but just wanted to throw this out, that as political editor of this Perceptions magazine, I got a visit from, you will know, Angela KCAL TV, right after Oklahoma City. They wanted to interview me and whoever else from the magazine, and they called us the watchdog on government, which was wonderful. But anyway, so I think
Karl is back on the line also, so.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll just wrap it up by saying that their broadcast was on at 9 o'clock that night. I stayed at the magazine to watch, and I got a call in from a guy who said, I'm a radio talk show host, and I saw on KCAL the night before the bombing a report that bombs had been found and removed from the Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City. End of story. The next morning, when the report came of the bombing, he gets a call from a friend of his who says, "Hey, did you see that thing on the news last night?" And he says, "Yeah, I saw it too." They called KCAL and they disclaimed any knowledge of the thing.
Wow.
They had reported it the night before.
Wow.
Anyway, Carl's back on. Let's give way.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Historical anecdotes. You're welcome. Yeah. I'll keep listening, of course.
Okay. He's back. Did you save the calf? Karl? Yo, Karl.
Oh, I muted myself. Yeah, hey.
How's the calf?
Oh, he or she is okay. I found the mom, so he got lucky.
Oh, good.
I couldn't figure out how to